Alright, back again, Luke here, and today I want to show you something that I was working on. As you can see here, this is the CPS2 motherboard. It's the bottom part of the CPS2 ROMs there for the Capcom games. And the problem that I was having here, as you remember probably from my last video, is I didn't have any kicks for this. So I went online and tried to see if I could find a kick harness, and to my surprise, I couldn't find any on the auctions, couldn't find any except for overseas stores, and instead of buying one overseas, I thought I'd try and make one. What I did first is I checked online just to see what the pinouts were and what was needed, and basically you only need about 7 or 8 wires here for the CPS2 board for 2-player. If you go for 3 or 4-player, you need all of them, but since I'm only doing 2-player, I only needed about 7 or 8. But the hardest part was looking online and trying to see what the different pinouts were. It said, you know, you basically use 1 through 33, and you use like the odd numbers, so it's like 1 and 9, 11, 15, 17, things like that, and basically the whole top row here. But I didn't know where the pinouts were located on the board itself, so what I had to do is take this thing apart. And if you're looking to make your own kick harness here, one thing to remember is the top row here, the very far left, the upper left pin, that's number 1, and all the way over here on the top right, that's number 33. Bottom row is 2 through 34 here, but you're not really going to worry about using the bottom row, just basically the top row. There is a couple of pinouts that you can use the top row, and I think number maybe 30 or 32, I think, and those are for the volume up and down. But for these boards here, they already have the volume up and volume down here on the board itself, so you don't really have to worry about that. Just need your kicks. So what I did is I went looking around and seeing if I could find a cable to fit in here. It looked like a basic IDE cable. So I went through my PC box, found some IDE ribbon cable, and tried to put it in there, but the ribbon cable itself is about that big, and even though it was 34 pins, it just did not fit. So I tried to sand it down and use a file to it and get it to fit in there, but in the end I was able to get it to fit in there and had all the pins, but the pins were really flimsy, and every time I went to try and take it out, it just fell apart, so I gave up on that. What I did come across, however, was this here. And this is, again, it was part of an IDE cable, and had a little bit of perf board on it, so much sturdier and really, you know, well designed. What I did here as well is I sanded down the sides, and surprisingly enough, this beast was, you know, it was able to fit in there. And it's got a snug fit, which is good, so it's not going to pull out or anything like that, and it works really well. I had to do a little bit of modifications to it. As you can see here, so here's some of the wires that I just got done putting on. I had to put a jumper wire on the back here so I could get the ground for the 2-players. The top one here, this is, oh wait, the top one is ground for 2-player, the bottom was ground for player 1, so I had to kind of do a little bit of manipulation with this thing here, but other than that, I was able to get this to work. Now, if you're thinking about making your own cable here, I guess I would recommend using something pretty solid and sturdy. You know, this thing's, it's really well designed. It's really solid, and it's not going to break on you. Regular IDE cable that you use for your PC is probably going to just, you know, fall to pieces. But the first time I made this, I got all this thing all wired up here. I made this about 2.5 feet long, which is probably from there to around here-ish, and 2.5 feet was not enough. And you probably think to yourself, well, that looks like more than enough to fit inside this thing, but when you think about the panel opening up and the cable itself being kind of pulled when the panel opens up, this is not long enough at all. So I had to extend it, and I extended it out to here, which is about, I don't know, 1 meter or a yard, maybe a little bit more. And it's still, you know, it's okay for right now, but if you're making your own, make sure you make it, you know, about a little bit more than 1.5 yards, because if not, you're not going to have enough space to open up the control panel here, and that's the kind of problem that I was having. But I mean, for starters, it's not too bad. For homemade, it's pretty decent, you know, and it does the job. But I'm gonna slap this beast in here and show you how it works, but figured I'd let you see what I was working on first. Let's try and get this monster through here. have a bunch of wires throughout here. Some of the wires here are for the SNK versus Capcom, and just wire madness here. Try and fit this down through here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this in one video. I hope so. I don't want to have to cut and splice it for no reason. Alright, let's wire this up here. You can get a good look at my floor here. Try and hook this up as quick as possible, but let's see, we got our medium kicks, and let's get that in there. And have our low kicks. Another good thing to remember is to try and make the second player cables a little bit longer than the first player ones, because since the second player ones have to reach a little bit further away, it's always good to have more length on those. And alright, there's player 1. Get player 2 all lined up here. Low kick, medium kick, and high kicks. Alright, so got everything all wired up. As you can see here, you can see how tight this is right now as of now. If I try and push it up here, it's okay, but you can probably see how long that cable is. It's still pretty short, you know. If I put the board inside the system itself, it'll be okay, or if I put it inside the cabinet, it should be okay, but it's not really working with a lot. So let's try and push this beast in here. Let's see if I can get just a little bit more cable. Get that pushed right in there. There we go. So that's all in place. Got that down there, and got our regular harness hooked up. So let's fire this monster on here and see what we got. And this is the same game that was in there before. It's Super Street Fighter 2X. So put a couple of coins in here. Start. First player, second player. Close this up here. Let's see. So these should be our kicks. There's one. There's the other kick. Let's give this a check here. Alright. 1, 2, 3. Gonna have to change them around here a little bit, you know, but as you can see, all the kicks, 1, 2, 3, punches, 1, 2, 3, and on this side here, 1, 2, 3, and so got everything all working. It's working great, you know, and all it took was a little bit of time here and a little bit of extra time trying to extend these cables, but just want to show you that I finally got a kick harness for this board, and it's working good. Not bad for homemade, huh? Just want to show you a little bit of video here, and yeah, if you're interested in making your own, I definitely recommend checking out some of the pinouts online to show exactly which ones they are. I can't think of what they are off the top of my head. I know this one is player 2's heavy kick, and then it goes on from there, like player 1 light kick, medium kick, and player 2 medium kick, and light kick, and then over here on the far ends, these are your common grounds. But just wanted to show you that I got it working, so that's about all for me for right now. Like always, I'll put up another video here soon. So thanks for watching.
You